Hey guys, before we go bananas with UFC star Jordan Griffin, let me thank one of our sponsors, Warhammer Fightwear. Check them out, guys, at warhammerfightwear.com. They have some of the best gear in all of MMA. I'm talking about gear for us men, the ladies, and of course the kids. They take care of everything. Guys, go to warhammerfightwear.com. Check them out. You can hit them up on the Amazon app. And of course, warhammerfightwear.com. All right, guys, what's up? This is Dave Van Auken once again on the Fight Bananas podcast. How's everyone doing out there? Man, we're on a roll. We're going to keep it going. UFC star Jordan Griffin's coming up. He's been on the show, I believe, 2, maybe 3 times. Love this kid. I feel like we talked since his Dana White Contender Series, and I know how important a win in the UFC was going to be to him. So we had to get him on. He just won at UFC Norfolk, not even with a win, a legit sick guillotine. We put it on our social media outlets right away. We're like, hey, $50K, Dana White, $50K. And boom, our man got it. I'm so pumped for him. I hope he can DoorDash us some dinner tonight. But, yeah, just really pumped to talk to Jordan Griffin. We're going to talk to him about his whole, the UFC Norfolk, the whole process, and then being on ESPN+. You know, some of our theories. I want to talk about the knee, open scorebook, all that stuff. So, not going to waste his time, mine, or yours. Let's go bananas with UFC star Jordan Griffin. All right, guys, on the Fight Bananas hotline, coming on once again, UFC star, UFC winning fighter, my main man, Jordan Griffin. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great.
Oh, man, how's that sound? We've talked to you. It's got to be a couple years now, Jordan. The Contender Series win was 2018. We are now in 2020. We can officially say, shit, UFC winner, Jordan Griffin.
Fuck yeah, man. I just needed to break the ice. I needed to mentally get past a couple of blocks that I was having, and I feel like I'm just in a better space mentally, and I'm ready to just continue to grow.
Really cool. There's so many questions, and I'll go there, but something you hit on, we talk about it all the time in the fight game. We go to amateur shows, to pro shows. We talk to UFC. We just got off the phone with Curtis Blades a couple weeks ago, and it's all about mentality. How you said you had the skill set, Jordan. You're one of the, your skill sets are, you belong in the UFC. It's just maybe changing that mentality, the little confidence. I feel like you're going to go on a major winning streak now. Are you with me on that? Is it how much of the game is mental now in the UFC?
Yeah, definitely. I'd say majority of it is all mental. You got to physically, you got to get up, and you just got to work. You know what I mean? And I think once I was really able to get that out of the way, I think physically I knew I was okay.
Right.
Physically I think I was always above average, but just mentality, man. Just that you're not gonna fucking beat me. And you saw it in my first 2 UFC fights. I didn't give up, dude. What's his name? Chad Skelly had a full rear naked choke locked in, and his coaches were like, "He's gonna tap." I'm like, "Fuck you guys!" Like, I'm not gonna fucking tap, man. Right.
Right.
So it's just mentality. Yeah, just gonna get myself. Hey, come on in here. Come on, please. He's so hard-headed. Yeah, no, I'm happy. I'm happy to be where I'm at.
Hell yeah.
And I just all about making the right choices right now,
Absolutely. Well, let's get into it. It's UFC Norfolk. One thing I've been I've been loving an advocate of all these ESPN shows, especially ESPN Plus. To me, the flyweight title now is kind of back, or, they get the limelight. Felicia Spencer, a great fighter, maybe on pay-per-view doesn't get the limelight. Dude, I love fighters like you, Alon Cruz. There's so many studs that got the opportunity because of Norfolk. Are you a big fan? Are you a big advocate of ESPN Plus, or just more UFC shows, just period?
Yeah, just getting more shows out there. I think ESPN Plus is awesome. I like it.
Yeah.
And you know what? I mean, I'm still trying to figure out what the difference between ESPN Plus and the UFC Fight Pass is. I think the UFC Fight Pass is like just an archive of all of, just MMA and any of the organizations that UFC Fight Pass works with, and then ESPN Plus is just like all the recent and the now. So I think it's awesome that we have that at our fingertips.
Yeah.
You think 15 years ago we didn't,
Right. It wasn't even YouTube out there. It was just literally people were sharing tapes or DVDs. And my man, like on UFC Fight Pass, they had it was 14 to 18 shows a year. Like they would have specials. ESPN Plus, there's 2 a month. There's 24, 30 shows. To me, it's just more. I love it. It's more money for fighters. It's just more, opportunities. More wins are out there. So I love it. It's just you.
Go to your room.
Talking to the dogs?
Sorry, I'm talking to my dog. Yeah.
It's all good, man. All good. Hit me up on Norfolk. How was the whole weekend? Was there something, was there a cool story out there? Were you just literally just so mentally, locked in knowing that you got to get this W? Nothing else in the world mattered on that weekend except for you choking someone out and getting that win.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, to be honest, I put all my energy, all my energy into just that. I just needed a W. I needed a W. When I came out, I was like, man, he keeps taking me down. I really wasn't stressing that because I knew he was going to take me down. I'm not I'm not a collegiate wrestler or anything like that. I knew everyone's going to take me down, but can everyone be on the ground with me? And so I think when I talk about mentality, I'm thinking of it this way. I used to be like, oh no, this guy's going to take me on the ground. He's going to hold me down. And now I'm thinking, you know what? Maybe I'll accept them taking me on the ground, but then they got to deal with me choking them the fuck out. Right. And so I'm going to go for as many submissions as I can when I'm on the ground. And then if they don't like that, then guess what? They're going to stand up, and then they got to deal with me punching them in the face. So is that in between,
Oh yeah, I love that. I don't want to go on too far on it because I do want to talk about this 50K thing real quick. But that's how I think Tony Ferguson is going to defeat the unbeaten Khabib Nurmagomedov. I feel he's going to pull I'm going to call it a Jordan Griffin. He's just going to be taken down, but Tony don't care. Tony's just going to go for necks and arms and just kind of transition and just get dirty down there. I think that's how Tony Ferguson's going to win the strap.
Yeah, it very much so could be, and I agree. That's where it's at. I think guys get so stuck
right
on just that takedown. Oh, he's a wrestler. Oh, he's going to try to strong arm me. It's that's cool, bro. You can be stronger than me and do whatever you want to do. I can still. Did you see that? I slapped the shit out of what's his name?
TJ?
Out of TJ Brown.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can feel slaps dude, all that stuff, man. That's just MMA. That's fighting. You can slap someone. You can pretty much do whatever you want except bite them.
Right.
So.
And you can knee people a lot too. We'll get into that in a second. That's one of my theories for later on. Last thing on you, probably like you said, we talked real quick off air. Was you kind of didn't care about it, but how sweet, how amazing, how life altering, changing. 50K. As soon as you had that choke, it's so funny, my man. I'm telling you, go to Fight Bananas on all of our platforms. We went to it. I was just going to say, we went to it. We blew it up right away. We're like, dude, if Jordan Griffin does not get 50K for that, we're going to be upset. It was funny, too, because we saw a couple, agents and kind of people in the UFC a little bit. I saw that they saw it on Instagram. So I was like, come on now. I was like, it's just how it is, man. The more times they kind of see it out there, they kind of oh, okay, yeah. So I was so dope when I saw that, man. 50K Jordan Griffin bonus.
Hell yeah, I could get used to that shit. And I just got to keep busting out these finishes. And right now it's funny because if I can find the right dude to brawl with me, I think that'd be an exciting fight. And I think that I'm really I don't know. I guess I'm just coming into my own. I feel like I'm not overthinking it as much as I was when I first got in.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, cool, man. If I can get me a stand-up guy, guess what? You guys are going to get an exciting brawl fight. If I can get, a jiu-jitsu guy, well, guess what? You're going to get an exciting brawl fight. If if I can get a wrestler who's trying to take me down, you guys are going to get someone. You're going to get a choke. You know what I mean? That's what you're going to get. But it's the game is so there's so many different ways to it. So it's kind of like there's just one way to win.
Right, man. I love that. How did the weight cut go good? And you felt good at 145 in there?
I actually did for the first time ever.
Right, because
I felt good.
Yeah, we talked about that a couple times. You're like, sometimes it's just not what I wanted. You know what I mean? It just didn't go a little bit off, and that's awesome. So it went good. So, hey, sometimes it's just doing it a couple times, especially at that level, to kind of perfect it. Just almost anything,
Yeah, and I hydrated a week early. I'd been drinking water and staying pretty low and kind of letting my weight go down, and then I'd just drowned myself in water a week before the fight, a whole week before, and I think that's just the new way to go. And I was kind of stressing it because I was like, oh damn, like my weight's still heavy and this and that,
right.
And then it just slid off at the end. I weighed in on the scale at 145. So I was just like, oh, okay,
cool. That's awesome, man. Okay, so one of the theories when I brought it up a little bit was, I don't know if you saw it a couple weeks ago, UFC was that New Mexico show, was like 2 illegal knees. One with Diego Sanchez, one with my main man Brock Weaver. And both times the referee did 2 different things. One time the ref with Weaver, he knocked it off right away. He goes, nope, fight is over. The other one was Sanchez. Man, like he talked to Sanchez, he kind of talked to his coach and went back and forth. Kind of odd, kind of both weird. I think we should kind of, put everything together. If a fighter gets a legal kick, legal knee, soccer kick, it should go to your coach. The fighter's always going to want to stay in there, Jordan. You're always going to want the smoke for the next round and all that. I think the coach has to go in there and take care of the situation. What do you think about that?
Man, I think that's a hard one. My coaches know me, dude. My managers know me. My coaches know me. I'll fight anybody, anywhere, and I'm gonna stick it out. So you know what I mean? Like they just know me and they know, yeah. Again, and I don't know. I'd almost be mad if they ended the fight because I got kneed. I figure it should be a thing that you should seriously look at the fighter, see if they're aware. Maybe a quick little test. Hey, you see my fingers, this and that, and then cool. Are you aware? Yes, I'm good. Cool, you got 5 minutes, and then just go. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But instead, in those ones, they just stopped it, didn't they?
Yeah, that's what I mean. The Brock Weaver, it was right away. Literally, instantaneously, there's like, nope, fight over. I'm like, wow. It was
Brock's a tough fucking dude, man.
Yeah, that's my guy. That's my guy. He wanted it. He wanted more. I literally talked to him that night. He's like, yeah, I wanted to go back in there. I can't believe they ended it. And he got rocked, too. That was a bad one. Some of them are worse than others. But, yeah, I just feel, and I like that actually, because it's almost, like a nut shot, right? They give a guy 5 minutes, they kind of slow it down. So maybe that's a good thing, and the doctor can come in. Yeah. That's the doctor's job to see what's up. So, I'm cool with that. I like that idea.
Yeah, take the points away. You know what I mean? Like, if you, cool, dude, you illegally need someone in the face, cool, we're taking 2 points or we're taking 1 point from you. I mean, even taking 1 point away from someone is dramatic. That dude has to finish now.
Right.
To even to win,
right.
You know?
Oh, I like your first one. I think it's 2 points. I think it's that severe of a mistake. You just can't do it, especially a knee to a ground opponent to the face. Some of them are close, some of them are iffy, but that one, both of them, Diego's and Brock's, was like, whoa, it was just horrible. So I like your idea of taking away 2, like let it make it a severe thing. Another kind of UFC big picture thing, especially with John Jones and Dominic a month ago with all the scoreboard. There's just been so many different judging and bad judging and open scorebooks and anything like that. What's your take?
I think the UFC should just have their own judges that they pay to go with them to every show, and they should have their own trained.
Yes.
These are judges that aren't affiliated with any school that's nearby or affiliated with any of the fighters that are on the card. But the judges could be fighters, and I think that'd be kind of cool to have judges that were old fighters, like old school fighters, like a Chuck Liddell as a judge. You know what I mean? Like that would be crazy. He's just cage side and he knows. So I think that's what I think with judges. The whole thing with me, they were like, oh, yeah, Jordan was losing the round. Jordan, like, this on the score. Guess what? At the end of the day, when you finish fights, who the fuck cares who the judges are? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, when you're finishing, it doesn't fucking matter who the judges are.
Yes.
And that's why even Dana White said, he's like, these guys do not like decisions. I fucking hate decisions.
Right. Yo, you're right, bro. You're right. And you never know what it's going to be. And what you nailed it. I've been on this. For one, the UFC is a multi-billion-dollar industry. You can't give a judge, male, female, $150K a year to travel around, become really good at it. The best judges go to the main events, that kind of situation. And I love what you said, too. I talked to Ross Pearsons 2 weeks ago. Tough, Ultimate Fighter, UFC, a vet. He loves the game, and of course, it's when you're out of the game, man, he would love a $10,000 check. He can come, he can sign autographs, he can take pictures the week before. People would love to see him. And then, boom, he'll work his tail off and pick, and judge it out. There's how many fighters, my man, from the past, from a decade ago. Chuck is the all-timer. He's the one of the GOATs of the sport. But there's so many, in the middle guys that, would love that paycheck, and they know the game. It's like, come on, guys, we're better than this. The fight game, the UFC should be better than this,
Yeah. And I mean, dude, the UFC paid for has like a braid lady that comes in, like, braids your hair and shit, and she'll come in and braid a bunch of dudes' hair if they want their hair braided. Dude, if they can give that much attention to these dudes' hair, to a braider and give her hair, then they can pay for, that'd be cool if they just paid for a judge, and then there wouldn't be any ups or downs. Also, about the Norfolk card is that the judges the commission was very distinct about what's a down opponent and what's an up opponent. So if your fingers were on the mat, you know how all 5 fingers are on the mat?
Right.
They said that is not a downed opponent. Your palm had to be on the mat or your fist, and I like that.
No, I'm down with that too, and that's cool that it looks like they communicated with you. So that's really cool. And then I like that too, what you're saying about the commission. And I know it's different states, and maybe we'll never get around to it. I think that's got to go too. The UFC, like the NFL, does not have different rules if they play in MetLife Stadium for New York and if they play for Cowboy Stadium in different states. It's all the same rules. It's the NFL's rules. The UFC should go, no, these are our rules. These are our guidelines. You're going to go with us. We're not going with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There should just be like a baseline of rules that everyone should know, and then maybe, if the state comes in and they're like, hey, well, we don't go with that. You know what I mean? But the thing is, too, this is the biggest organization in the world. You know what I mean? I don't think the rules should apply like a little King of the Cage show or something like that, Of course.
Guys, man, we're talking to Jordan Griffin. We're going to get him for a couple more minutes. We appreciate his time. He probably just got back home. UFC winning fighter, $50K bonus. He's just getting chokes and taking names. I love how you said finishing. What's next? What do you want next? Is there a name you see out there? You just want to get back in the cage soon, or you want to keep on training? What your mindset right now? What's next for Jordan Griffin?
Well, I might fly out to Vegas and go to the UFC PI and do some training.
Okay.
But I think because the UFC event, the fight is this week, it's going to be a lot. They're all going to be busy and stuff. So I don't want to be out there taking up room when, all the fighters, they have an event and stuff. So I'll probably go out there when there's not an event in Vegas, I think.
Right.
And go out there and get my testing. They do like testing to see like where you stand in the division as far as what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, and then they, help you, better yourself pretty much. And that's what I love about the UFC is, dude, they're trying to make you better. Like they're constantly trying to make me better, and I can't fucking argue with that. You know what I mean? It's up to me. It's all on me.
Right. They do. I love that. So, okay, 145. Okay, so you mentioned this weekend real quick, Yoel Romero or Israel Adesanya?
Oh, man, that's hard because I like both those dudes, but I've been a Romero fan for fucking ever, dude.
Yes.
He's a beast, man. That dude's 41 or 42.
42?
Who the fuck looks like that? Who the fuck looks like that at 42? Like, nobody.
42.
Dude. Like,
it's crazy.
Yeah, 42. And then he made that baller play. I have so much respect for him. He did that, he sued that company, that supplement company,
yes.
who won like millions of dollars.
Yep.
And then he's like, okay, I'm going to go back to fighting. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
that's tight.
No, he's the man, dude. He's with FRM, First Round Management. I deal with them a lot. I met Yoel. He did a grappling event in Pensacola. Now I was covering the event. It was last summer. the nicest dude in the world. We went to dinner, you know what I mean? Just a regular go-lucky guy, funny as all hell. And so when I was talking to Yoel, I was like, what's next? He goes, I just want the title. He goes, I know I can do it. He says, dude, he was 2 ounces off from Rockhold. I don't know if you remember that a year and a half ago. He would have been the champion. So I think there's just something special. I think there's a little bit of a destiny thing. Like, man, like Yoel Romero is a champ. Like he got to be middleweight champion sooner or later. I think this weekend he gets the job done.
If he can close that distance and get in, it's game over. But that's the hard part.
Right.
It's like, fuck.
Yeah. The undefeated, lean, long, aggressive, amazing striker style bender. Yeah, but it's so good. That fight is epic. That's a great one. And then the co-main is Joanna and Wei Lee. To me, it's the new school of females, old school. I love this fight. Maybe one of the biggest female fights they can make. Who do you have in that?
I always got to go with Joanna.
I love it.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I always got to go with her. I mean, I don't even know her like that. I just always like watching her fight, and I'm a big fan of her, so.
She's all dog. That's what I almost respect about her the most. Same thing. She trains at Coconut Creek. We head down there all the time. Fight Bananas podcast. We're hitting that up all the time. And every time we talk to her, see her, I got a great Joanna story for you. And I know you'll know this about, you're in the gym all the time. So we're seeing the night before we saw Junior Dos Santos, and he's hitting the pads. And it's like, bam. But you know what I'm talking about. The thunder hitting the pads is like pop, pop. So we're like, wow, JDS is hitting it. So the next morning we get up, I go to Starbucks, I get my iced coffee, we're rolling, and then we head back to the gym. And in the corner, we hear the pads again. We're like, pop, pop, pop. We're like, holy shit, Junior Dos Santos is back again hitting it. We walk over, it's Joanna Jacek, 115 pounds, soaking wet, making the same noise that Junior Dos Santos did. It was insane, my man.
Yeah, she's a beast, man.
Yeah,
she's a beast.
Incredible. But, man, I don't want to take up more of your time. So happy for you. Jordan Griffin, UFC winner, featherweight division, gets the little $50K bonus. I hope we get that DoorDash. Hopefully you take care of dinner for us tonight. We appreciate you. And, man, we'll talk soon, brother. I always love talking to you.
Definitely. You have a good one.
You too, Jordan. Bye.
Bye.
All right, guys, that was UFC winning fighter from this past UFC Norfolk show, Jordan Griffin. Man, appreciate his time. I just love his mentality. You can tell he's having fun. At the end of the day, it's an entertainment sport, and it's fun. You gotta, get your mind right. You gotta have fun. But when he gets inside the octagon, you can tell that man is serious about it. That win meant the world to him. A couple of last outings didn't go his way. He knew it was probably his career. His UFC life was on the line, and he got the job done, man. I respect that so much. Jordan Griffin, thank you so much for coming on the show. We'll always talk to you very soon, my man. The featherweight division's doing amazing things. We cannot wait. We're going to see what's next. The rumor is UFC 251. It looks like it is going to be Volkanovski versus Max Holloway. When that breaks, we'll definitely break that down, talk about it. It's in Perth. You got to think that Volkanovski is going to main event that show. I heard that Korean Zombie just had an eye surgery, so you just got to think Max is... We don't like the word deserve. Everything is hard. It's hard to earn. Media rematches aren't just given away on trees. But out of all fighters, you got to think that someone who has been the king of the division for so long, I think the greatest featherweight fighter of all time, Max Holloway, you would think it's Max Holloway, Volkanovski too. That's what I would think. So there it is, guys. This week in UFC 248, make sure if you haven't already, download, subscribe, or go to the Fight Bananas YouTube channel for our fight breakdown with Israel Adesanya and Yoel Romero. Me and my man John Radford, we break it all down. Thank you to our sponsors. We hit up Warhammer Fightwear. Now we're going to hit up Mako Tech mouth guards. Man, what a great company. If you need a mouth guard, if you're a fighter, you just want to go to the gym, professional, amateur, guys, they do mouth guards for UFC fighters. They do it for regional fighters, anyone in between. Go to Instagram. Check them out right now. Mako Tech mouth guards. It's Mako Tech, TEK_ mouth guards. Show them a lot of love. Tell them Fight Banana sent you. Mako Tech mouth guards. Last but not least, Fusion CBD products. Get your CBD products, Insta-Freeze, the oils, the rubs, anything you need. Put in our promo code FIGHT2020. FIGHT2020. One more time. FIGHT2020. You get 20% off your full order. There you go. You're welcome. All right, guys, we're checking out. Thank you so much for listening to the Fight Bananas podcast. Like, rate, share, send it to an enemy. You know what it is. Have a good day, guys. We'll talk to you soon.